What's up? It's your girl FrumpyFit. If you don't know who I am, I'm an online weight loss coach who's dedicated to calling out all the BS in the fitness industry and providing you with accurate fitness, nutrition, and weight loss information. Today we are talking about the top 5 things that I think people are doing wrong or mistakes they're making when it comes to weight loss, and some tips of how to not do those things or what to do instead. But before we jump straight into the content, this video is sponsored by me, my new course opening for enrollment, and all the extra free stuff that I'm offering this week to celebrate the launch of this course. So if you're into free stuff, keep watching. Otherwise, you can skip to the timestamp right here to head straight into the content of this video. So first, at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 28th, 29th, and 30th of this month, July, I am doing a live stream series here on YouTube to talk about a few really important topics that I think are going to be so valuable for you guys. Number 1, how to balance weight loss with real life. Number 2, why now is the best time to get started with weight loss. And number 3, why you feel so stuck and overwhelmed. And I'm going to be doing Q&As at the end of all 3 of these lives. So to make sure that you don't miss them, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Also, I just have to say, if you've been watching my channel, or I guess even if you're new, hitting the subscribe button just means the absolute world to me as a content creator. It seems so simple and so silly, but it really does help. And we're getting really close to 100,000 subscribers, which admittedly, I'm extremely just mind blown and excited about. Okay, number 2, next free thing is that I'm doing a private webinar talking about the one thing that you need to achieve sustainable weight loss. And no, it's not a calorie deficit. And this is happening on the 31st at noon Pacific Standard Time. I'll be doing a Q&A at the end of this as well, but it's open to registrants only. So make sure you go to the link that's pinned in the comments or in the description to sign up and save your spot for that webinar. And you really don't want to miss coming live to this one because I'm offering a special bonus related to my course that is only available to people who show up live. And third, on the same day of the free webinar, the 31st, my course is opening for enrollment. And if you are interested in joining my course, no, it's not free, but special early bird pricing will only be available for a few days. So you got to make sure you're tuned in so you do not miss that. In that same pinned comment and in the description, I'll include a waitlist link so that you get notified as soon as you're able to enroll in the course. I also recommend following me on Instagram because that's where I give super quick updates and where you can DM me if you have questions about any of this stuff. All right, that is everything. We're gonna jump straight into the video. I hope to see you guys at all of these free exciting things and in my brand new course. So the first mistake that I see so many people making, like maybe 90% of people making, is that they follow what somebody else is doing or what they've heard somebody else has done. And I get it, it makes sense. You follow the advice of somebody who has the results that you want, but here's the thing. We know that a calorie deficit is required for weight loss, but there's a million different ways that you can accomplish a calorie deficit. So following one person's way is potentially neglecting your specific needs, which is going to make it hard for you to be successful. Like whatever they did worked for them because it likely met their needs, and it's not a guarantee to meet yours. So what you should do instead is take the principles and the fundamentals of weight loss and apply them to your life in the way that you need them to exist in your life. The only must is being in a calorie deficit, but literally everything else is up to you. And if you're confused about a calorie deficit or wanting more information about the fundamentals so you can figure out how to apply it in your life, then watch whatever videos I'm linking up here because they're going to talk all about a calorie deficit, calories, everything you need to know. And just an FYI, these are not in any particular order. It's just the order that I thought of them in. But number 2 is wanting to lose weight too quickly or expecting to lose weight too quickly. By doing this, you put so much pressure on yourself to achieve a specific result in a specific amount of time. And when that doesn't happen, you're usually disappointed. You're disappointed when the scale doesn't move or when the mirror isn't showing you what you want it to or your clothes aren't fitting the way you want it to. And disappointment ultimately sets you up for failure because you're like, if nothing that I'm doing is working, why am I even trying? So we want to avoid that if we can. What this also does is when you're frustrated and you're not getting results, it encourages you to increase restriction or follow a very restrictive path, which is just going to lead you to yo-yo dieting and what I call weight roller coastering, which I'm going to talk about in the webinar on Saturday. So what you must do instead is have patience and understand that any amount of progress, literally the tiniest amount of progress, is still progress, and that deserves to be celebrated. The third mistake that I see people making literally so often is they're trying to find or do the best of anything, the best workout program, the best diet, the best blah blah blah. Here's the thing, it doesn't matter what's the best on paper, because if you're not actually going to do it or be able to stick to it long enough, you're not actually going to get results from that. So technically, it's not really the best. The best thing is what you're actually going to be able to implement on a consistent enough basis to get results. And people with this like all or nothing approach always tend to lean towards like, I have to be doing the best, or like I shouldn't be doing it at all. But I want you to reframe this and think like, it's only the best if I can do it, if I can stick to it, and I can get results from it. So stop worrying about like all these little tiny details and just stick to a consistent, easy, simple, basic plan. And the way that you come up with that plan, which I will help you with if you attend all of these free sessions that I'm doing and if you join my course, but it relates back to number one about how you stop following what other people are doing. You have to apply the principles and the fundamentals of weight loss to your life and figure out what your specific needs are. And the fourth mistake that I see people making is that they're either not tracking their progress at all or they're obsessing over it. And so let's talk about not tracking your progress first. When you don't have a solid plan or strategy for tracking your progress, then you are going to miss it. Like I know so many people who are like, oh, well, I would notice. Like I would notice if I was getting results, but just like you don't want to lose weight too quickly, if you're losing weight in a slow and sustainable way, it's very likely that you're going to miss the results that are happening because they are happening more slowly. Even if you are losing weight at a faster rate, it's very, very, very easy to miss or downplay the results that you're getting because you're just not tracking them in an appropriate way. So now let's say you're on the other side of the spectrum and you're obsessing over tracking your progress. You're weighing yourself like every single day. And when you aren't seeing the results you're expecting, you kind of start to freak out. And so that's the problem with obsessing over it, is that chances are you are getting results. It's just not showing up in the exact way that you are tracking it. A lot of people think of weight loss progress tracking as just being the scale, but there are also so many other different ways. But even if you are adding in other types of ways, you need an extremely holistic and balanced and like chill way that you're tracking your progress, and you shouldn't be putting so much pressure and expectations on exactly what is going to happen week by week just because you're sticking to your plan. Chances are you are getting results, but it's just not showing up in the exact way that you want it to on a scale or in measurements or whatever else. That's why in my course I literally have like 5 or 6 at least like lessons on tracking progress alone, so you can come up with your strategy for tracking your progress in a way that's going to be most beneficial for you, because there are so many different ways and the idea is to like puzzle them together for whatever is going to work best for you. So whether you join my course or you don't, what you should do instead of either not paying attention at all or obsessing is come up with a progress tracking strategy that is going to give you enough information to help you make informed decisions about whether or not your weight loss plan is working, but not so much that it's going to make you obsessive over it. So if the scale makes you obsessive no matter what, do not use the scale. And the fifth mistake that I see people making when it comes to weight loss is focusing on the wrong stuff. And this kind of relates to the other 4 tips. But I'll give you an example. I posted on my Instagram story a little question box asking for YouTube video requests. And I would say that like 50% of the requests or suggestions were things that like either are not going to move the needle at all for you with weight loss, or are just not going to move the needle enough to even make it worth your time to pay attention to that thing. And seeing all those requests like really opened my eyes to how much people don't realize like what's useless to pay attention to and what's important to pay attention to or care about. But honestly, like this is so normal, so don't feel bad at all if you're focusing on the wrong things, because that's just like the fitness industry is so all or nothing. And I see so many like content creators related to fitness and nutrition making content about things that like really don't matter all that much to their audience just because like they need something to make content about, so they make it seem like it's more important or valuable than it actually is. Or maybe they actually do think it's helpful and they don't really realize that they're giving information to their audience that their audience doesn't actually need. I guess there's no way to know. But also like the fitness industry's tendency to be like all or nothing, the need to like know everything and like we said, like perfect everything and do the best of everything, it all kind of plays into that same like narrative. And so what you should do instead is a concept that I refer to as minimum effective dose. And you may have heard me say that phrase in another YouTube video or on Instagram, but this is actually what my entire webinar is about on Saturday. You guys guys are getting like a little hint, sneak peek about like what does minimum effective dose even mean and like how can you implement that into your plan. So coming up with your minimum effective dose essentially means figuring out what's going to get you the most bang for your buck and figuring out what's not and ignoring that stuff. And that's how you build your plan. So if you skipped ahead in the beginning because you didn't want to hear about the free stuff, but now you hear this and you're interested, I'm hosting a webinar this Saturday. That's what this topic is about. We're doing a live stream series. Again, you can go back and watch that. If you skipped it in the beginning, I don't blame you. It's fine. And if you're watching this video after the fact, like after all of these dates have passed, make sure you still subscribe here and follow me on Instagram and get on my email list because these are things that I'm gonna offer on a continued basis. I love doing live stuff with you guys. So I'm sure there's gonna be a future date where all of this will be offered. All right, those are my top 5 mistakes that I see people making, like I would say 90% of people making when it comes to their weight loss journey. That is the end of the video. As usual, guys, thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here. You can also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.